So this episode, I don't know what happened. I got nothing. Just stay tuned.
It's a long way down. Meet me up the river. We're cruising, boozing, fire pits, waving a Kentucky kiss. O-H-I-O, welcome to Ohio.
Hi there, guys and gals, and just adding to this episode, we're still sanding, doing body work and all that. We had to take a break. We got a one-man lift because we did all this re-insulation and fixing of the top where the birds have come down and knocked down all the dad's ceiling. We got the rest of our flags put up, so we're pretty excited about that. I put my clock up there that my buddy Brian made for me. Pretty cool. Thanks, Brian. But this right here is going to keep the shop way more gooder as far as the heat. I have never had it sealed up completely. I am not a carpenter. I know that's not even a surprise. So anyway, so we took a break on this guy to do all that and this, and we end up we traded off Ron Burgundy, which was the Jeep, and we end up owning a 2015 Z71 crew cab, which was pretty cool. We traded for it, and then we sold that 4.5 days later, and now we're just kind of like in limbo. You know, I kind of don't want to buy anything, and then I kind of do. One, right now the market is kind of crap. It is a buyer's market because nobody's buying spit. I mean, nothing, which is good and bad. It made it really hard to try to sell the Jeep, so that's why we end up trading. And then on top of that, you got to kind of find, I sold the truck that I got very, 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 very cheap, apparently, because it sold within 2 days of marketplace. Yeah, but anyway, we end up getting another 6-liter right here. The good news is this one is a 2006, which means Gen 4 rods, so we won't have to upgrade that part of it. Now the downside is it was getting ready to start to lock up. The guy was honest with me. I bought the 408 motor that I end up rebuilding, or doing the engine work too. See how it's just now starting to, I mean, you can tell oil was getting kind of scarce in it. There was a little bit of metal flakage up here. Nonetheless, we're going to do a rebuild on it. New cam bearings. Probably going to have to polish the crank or get it turned. We might actually take it to a machine shop depending on how bad this is. If this is super bad, we're going to take it down to the machine shop, tell them to true it up for us, that way so we don't have any issues in the future. And then new gaskets. These heads, he told me, were just redone, and I can see a brand new valve cover gasket, so that's good. We have no idea what to dump this thing in, and even worse, we're having second thoughts. We're having second thoughts about keeping the 403 in this guy. Because Dad's not a fan of 403s. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not. They're dependable, they have torque-ish, but I am overall not a fan of the motor because it's not a, man, he's got 403 under the hood. You've never once heard that in your life, ever, I don't think. So we do have a couple engines ready to go, which means this engine could be a bigger upgrade engine for something else. Or we just keep on doing what we're going to be doing, and we can mildly build this for that until we build the supercharged version for that, or, you know, whatevs. Either way, that one and that one's definitely getting a 6-liter in it. I was just kind of kicking the thought around. Tell me what you guys and gals think. Anyway, we're not going to bust this thing apart tonight because we have been cleaning, putting stuff back in order somewhat, trying to make room so we can get back to this guy, sand him down. That's another reason why we're not tearing this apart. We don't want any more dust and all that crap in there than what's already in there. So we're going to get back to sanding on him. Again, I'm not recording that because it's boring. Nobody wants to watch anybody sand. And I'm just going to use a DA, if I'm going to be honest about it. I don't really plan on hand sanding a whole lot of anything. Why? Butterfly. And I've got carpal tunnel like you wouldn't believe in this hand. And the good thing is it's my dominant hand, so that's even more gooder. Anyway, guys and gals, I'm going to get busy, and we'll keep you posted on everything going on, all right? Or try to. Love you guys. See you in a little bit. Well, we're back at it again, and yes, we're still doing body work. And the main reason is, well, it's still December, but just barely. It's like the 29th. And yesterday, we went to this thing called Winterfest. It was 72 here in Ohio. Today it's 29 and spitting snow. But the good news is, it's 12 degrees with the wind blowing, the wind chill factor. Anyway, so we're still doing body work. I know this probably looks the same because it is. We're still just trying to get back in the swing of things. With the holidays, we've been spending more time with the fam, and that's okay. But I just want to throw this to you. The body work on the hood is done. It's done. Because the hood is done. Not in the good way. See that right there, that little crack? Usually that's not a big deal. You know, you can treat it like the old, you know, square bodies and all this and going about your way. But let me just show you a little something. No, we still haven't LS swapped it yet. We're still kicking it around, you know. So we got it to shut, and it shuts freaking beautifully. Except just a little factor, you know, like that guy. And then it's bowed, it's bent, it's broken, it's everything. And as I'm doing body work to it, I noticed something else. But yeah, we got the hood popping the way it should. Ugh. Halfway, hold on. You just sit right there a second there, fella. Like that. Yeah, So the good thing is you gotta reach all the way down here. Find the hood latch. And then do all that. So, if you don't know, this is a spring that kind of like bends and then bring, but you see all of this rust. Yep. The more we like beat on this sucker, the more we realized, we know why it like buckled. And then we started seeing this. Those are holes. Like, not gooder ones. We welded up one here and that wasn't that bad. And we didn't see these until, oops, there's one. I was like, nah, we'll fix that. And then, yeah, we started seeing some more stuff. And then we started seeing rust fall out all over the place. How a hood has this much rust and like looks that solid on the outside, I've got nothing. I mean, that right there is pretty norm. But then we had this. This was a kink I tried to straighten. I mean, it was, you know, I thought I got it straightened up pretty decent. So I knocked it back and did all this magic, welded it, and then it just still didn't. I mean, it's bowed. It's bad. And what I'm getting at with all that, yes, the hood is expensive, brand new. Unfortunately, I can't find a stinking shaker hood honestly, for less than what I can get it brand new. For some reason, a aftermarket hood is way cheaper than an OG original with scratch, dents, rust, and just all kinds of fluffy goodness. So we're gonna do the right thing and go up this weekend, get a new daggone hood, and we're going to avoid all of this nastiness. But anyway, so that's what we've ran into so far. The rest of it's actually really went really well. I mean, they have a real thin coat of Bondo on it. Like, there's no dents in this door, but there's a thin coat all over the door. There's a thin coat all over the fender. I mean, I guess it will make a panel really flat. So, I mean, it works, I guess. So we're going to try to tape up all of this stuff tonight. All of this stuff here. Just get it ready to throw down some primer. Because I think, I mean, honestly, we're about ready for some primer on this guy. We do have to do some finish sanding. No big deal. And I'm not allergic to dust at all, so that's good. We're saving the trunk. You know, we put a little bit of fiberglass Bondo there. No big deal. It's not going to hurt a darn thing. It still have the seals, and we're going to pretty it up. That's not a big deal. In fact, you know, this is what I would call a correct fix for this car. This is not a full-on I take that back. It's not supposed to be a full-on restoration, but it's like working that way, just like the darn Mustang. So we're gonna get busy sanding. We might try to rip off this hood, set it to the side, and we may, I don't know if we're going to mask all this off and paint. I don't know what we're going to do there. We might just get the hood off of it, you know, mask off with the paper, do some sort of wizardry. Just wish us luck, okay? Sorry I've been rambling. I'm alone in here, and it's lonely. Love you guys, and I'll see you whenever I get more progress. Okay?
Hi there, guys and gals. Wearing a new shirt today. Not new, but new-ish. So anyway, we've decided that tonight blocking and sanding is probably really important. So we're pulling the motor instead. Yep. So we went ahead and done did it because, well, that don't get me excited. That right there, yes, that one does. 5-point tree, stage 2 sloppy, hardened valves, push rods, Elgin, cam, Elgin, everything in there. I think it's got a Cloy's timing chain maybe. Brand new oil pump, all the 9 in there. And you guys have heard it if you've watched the show. But I didn't decide to go ahead and put you through the torture of watching me lift this thing out of here. I will tell you this, if you got the Harbinese freight version, makes a little bit of love right there to it. Right there. I mean, just, that's how close it is. And that's all the way out. I did decide to pull the motor and transmission separate because this thing weighs literally a ton. I'm just telling you. This thing weighs like, I don't even know. It's heavy because it's a 403 Oldsmobile turd. So homeless guy Dave is supposed to trade a transmission for this for his niece's car. It'll help him, it'll help me, and the world will keep spinning around. So we're going to clean all this fun stuff up, get rid of decades of oil leakage and seepage and all that good jazz. And then we're going to throw the 5-point tree in it and make her shake like, you know, like she's mad at the world. you know, I'm getting excited about it. So anyway, I just want to keep you guys up to date. I know this isn't like really super informative just yet. So I've got nothing. I just, you know, sometimes you got to switch it up a bit, you know, to make some American thunder. You know, you just got to do something to fuel the old veins. But anyway, we will throw more in whenever we start LS swapping it, because there's a lot more than just throwing the motor in there. We are carbureting it. Yes, we are. We have a Holly fuel pump we got from one of our buddies, along with a regulator. Thank you, Mr. Webb. I appreciate you. And then we got to go up to Jags or somewhere and get a hood, because that hood was DUN done. Sears, if you're watching, I got a hood for your wall art in your garage, and it's the right price. It's free. Anyway, sorry ADD took over and I just couldn't help myself. I will throw in a few little tidbits of information. One, if you have this going on, I had to grab this thing clear at the snout, because that's all the further it would reach. Make sure you're not hitting your distributor or anything that's going to bend. Luckily, the motor's so darn wide, I didn't have to worry about that. Secondly, drop your transmission separately. That thing also weighs a good bit. And I did see something that I think needs mentioning. Whenever you're running transmission lines, please, oh please, I don't care if they're metal, rubber, or whatever, don't run them to where they even touch the exhaust. You're defeating the point of a transmission cooler in your radiator. The whole point of the transmission lines running through the coolant is so it cools it down. The engine runs cooler than the transmission, way cooler. So by doing that, you have heated up the transmission. Absolutely. Run it on the frame, keep it away from your exhaust, okay? That being said, there was a lot of ADD involved in this. I apologize. And just get ready, because this one's going to get spicy. I'm telling you, I'm digging it. So wish us luck on this transmission. Hopefully homeless guy Dave's got a good one. We're going to try. And we're also going to try to figure out where to mount this fuel pump, because I have no idea yet. Anyway, love you guys and gals. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time here on Right Turn Garage TV. The next one will be better, I promise you. There won't be so much jumping around like sanding and doing all this. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Have a great new year. And it's going to be great. All right? See ya.